And a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger-Cats.
Hey all, Rick here for another episode of a Ticats preview. Today we are previewing the game for Week 17 with the Ticats at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So we're going to start with the road team first. We have on the boundary side on offense for wide receiver, we have Mr. Kenny the King Lawler. Beside him at left tackle, we have Brandon Bordner, Revenberg, Coulter Woodmansey, Don at center, Liam Dobson at right guard, Quinton Barrow at right tackle. Field side wide receivers is Shamar Bridges and Tyler Chernowski. Boundaries slot back is Tim White and Isaiah Wood Sr. Fullback / tight end is Milanovic Litre and Bonnie Robinson. Quarterback, you have Bo Levi Mitchell, Taylor Powell, and Big Joel Agala. Running backs, you have Greg Bell and Johnny Augustine, with DeAndre Smith and Brennan Leary Orange running offense. The King himself, Mark Lagu, who won last week's game with a end of the game kickoff field goal, going 5 for 5. Long snapper Gordon White, punter Nick Constantino, and then Isaiah Woodson Jr. or Sr. as the kick and punt return. On the boundary side defense, we have Julian Hauser with Mile Fox and Mario Kendricks as the defensive tackles, Casey Sales and Ty Anderson as the field side defensive tackles, Philip Ossie and Owen Hubert as the defensive ends. You have Jamal Peters as game time decision, as his wife could be Earth and Gano. And then you have Destin Talbert with Kyler Fisher, Braxton Hill, and Brian Cole II at weak side linebacker. You have Devin Verisuk, Brian Baker, Trevor Hoyt, and Guamu as middle linebacker. Reggie Stubblefield as Sam linebacker. Free safeties Stavros Kachachonis and Robert Panabaker. Deshaun Amos at the halfback, and then Jonathan Moxley and Mac Banate as the corners. Over on the Winnipeg side, you have starting on the boundary wide receiver, so that's the left wide receiver position. You have Ontario Wilson, Stanley Bryant, Gabe Wallace, Kolakowski, and Eli as the centers. Patrick Neufeld, Randolph as the right tackle. Clarcius as the field wide receiver. On the second row, you have Jared Stearns as the slot back with Corcoran. You have Brady Oliveira and Matthew Peterson as the running backs. Zach Claris, and then Strevler and Wilson as the quarterbacks. Chris Ike as the fullback. Nick Dembski as the slot back, and Mitchell as the other slot back. Sergio Castillo and Shahan as the kicker and punter. LaRue as the long snapper, and then Vaville as the kicker and punter. For the defense side, boundary side, you have Vaughters and Pearson. You have Thomas at nose tackle, Lawson and Woods at defensive tackle, Ayers and Jefferson at the field defensive end. You have Wilson and Cadwalder and Whitby as the weak side linebackers, Jones, Gauthier, and Shea as the middle linebackers, Ramsey and Smith at the Sam linebackers, Houston and Vaville at the corners on the boundary side. Beside them is Nichols, and then free safety, you have Allen, Hallat, Kelly, and Ball. Holm at the field side halfback, and Lawson at the field side corner. Now we're going to get into the game notes for today's game. Keep in mind, with Toronto losing to BC last night, both Hamilton and Montreal have both clinched home playoff spots. So going into today's game, all 9 wins in 2 streaks. Ticats have won 9 games, but in a unique way in 2025. Their 9 victories have come in just 2 separate streaks of 6 in a row early in the season and 3 in a row currently. Hamilton playoff spot potential. Hamilton can clinch a playoff spot this week, making it 6 times in the last 7 seasons for postseason play. Since 2009, they have made it into the postseason 13 of those 16 seasons if they are successful this week, which they were. Winning after a home loss. The Blue Bombers come into this game having lost their last home game going back to 2019. Winnipeg is 5-1 in their home games after a home loss. October 19th, 2019, August 25th of 22, July 7th of 23, June and 1st of 24, and July 18th. Winning with 3 completions. The Blue Bombers won last week with just having 3 completed passes on 8 attempts for 54 yards and a rating of 9.4. The last team to win with 3 or fewer completions came on September 24th of 1975. That day, the Winnipeg was again involved when they were just 2 for 11 for 62 yards and yet defeated Hamilton for 32. With Chuck Edley as quarterback, Winnipeg rushed for 54 times for 349 yards that day. Of note, Hamilton went 3 for 12 in a 1974 and won just 11-10 over Ottawa. 8 pass attempts. Last week, Winnipeg attempted just 8 pass attempts for 54 yards and 9.4 rating. Last time I don't know why they're repeating that when I just read that. 16 player share. On their 2025 roster, Hamilton and Winnipeg, by our count, have 16 individuals that have played for both clubs. This is led by Zach Clares, Sergio Castillo, Casey Sales, E. Lawson, Keyshawn Garbett, Mark Legu, Brian Cole, Liam Dobson, Jake Dolagala, Drew Wolotarski, Miles Fox, Justin Augustine, Kenny Lawler, Owen Hebert, Jay Zott, and Brendan O'Leary Orange. Hamilton has won the first meeting of 2025, are in a position to sweep the Blue Bombers for the first time since 2019. Hamilton has built a 19-point lead over Winnipeg and never trailed, and won 32-31 on September 12th at home. Bo passed for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Greg Bell had 137 rushing yards. Brady Oliveira also had 116. Winnipeg has won 5 of the last 8 meetings overall, and the last 4 at home to Hamilton. Zach Clares 31-7 at home. Winnipeg. Zach Clares is set to return to the lineup and brings a career record of 87-53 and 50-20 in all career home games. Zach Clares is now 35,235 career passing yards, moving him up to 15th all time in the CFL for Winnipeg. He is 53-21 as a starter in the regular season. Home games for Winnipeg, Zach Claros is 31-7. Greg Bell set a career high with 156 rushing yards and 20 carries two games ago, 7.8 per attempt, in a win over Montreal, collapsing his previous high at 139 and 24. He then followed it up with games of 137 and 93. Over his last 3 games, he has rushed for 386 rushing yards on 59 carries. Valville 199. Valville has returned 2 missed field goals for long gains last week at Ottawa, including a club record 128-yard touchdown. His total of 199 set a new single-season record. The CFL record for 131 yards on a field goal missed return is now out of reach, as that was returned out of the 25 end zone in 58. by Toronto off of a missed field goal by Bill Booley. Touchdowns via returns. Bombers and Ticats are tied for number 2 in 2025 with 6 touchdowns via defense and kick return. Toronto is number 1 with 7. Turnover ratio importance. Winnipeg is number 9 in the CFL with a -7, and are most notable as the outcome of their games. In their 7 wins, they are a ratio of +10. In their 7 losses, they are at -19. Hamilton comes in at number 1 in turnover ratio in 2025 with a +7. Scoring edge in the fourth quarter. Hamilton leads the CFL this season in their 4th scoring margin. They've outscored opponents 154 to 100 for a +54. That is well ahead of number 2 team Ottawa at +20 in quarter 4. Mitchell as a starter, 22 in a row. Bo Levi Mitchell's record as a starter is now 108, 44 and 2, .708, and is 18 and 19 with Hamilton. Of note, he has started the last 22 games, the longest streak of consecutive starts in his career. Bo is 13 and 8 in his 21 career starts versus Winnipeg at 154 career starts only. Only 10 quarterbacks have ever started more in their career than Mitchell. Bo 300. Bo Levi Mitchell has gone for over 300 yards in 6 of the 9 starts, and 9 times this tied for number 1. He leads the CFL with 4,194 yards, passing 299.6 per game. All time here is how his win-loss record stands up number 3. So Dave Dickinson is .717. Doug Flutie is .746. Bo is .708, and Warren Moon is .703. Brady Oliveira comes into the game off of back-to-back 100-yard rushing efforts. His career best consecutive 100-yard games is at 2, so he can make it 3 in a row for the first time ever. He now has 20 for his career and ranks number 7 all-time for Winnipeg with 5,190 rushing yards. Mark Legio 5 for 5 again, 21 in a row. Mark Legio made all 5 attempts last week versus Edmonton. He holds the CFL's longest active made in a row streak at 21. Mark Legio is 39 for 41 on the year and is 95.1% mark, just ahead of Sean White as most accurate kicker. Nick Dempsey, 417 receptions. Nick Dempsey comes into the game finally at the end of what was a 4-game reception streak. He needs just 1 reception to reach the number 5 all-time among Blue Bombers receivers, passing Claire Denmark with 417. Last week was just 8 attempt passes, targeted just once. Sergio Castillo has made all six of his attempts over the last 2 games, after the spell where he went 3 for 6. For the season, he is 37 of 43 for a mark of 81 or 86.0% mark. Chris Streveler started the last 2 games for Winnipeg, though he's completed just 21 passes. He's ran for 22 times for 154 yards over the contest, with a touchdown in each game. Streveler is 3-1 in 4 starts for Winnipeg this season. Kenny the King Lawler comes in tied for the CFL lead with 11 touchdowns and 1,190 yards with 69 receptions. He has now reached career high in all 3 areas. Okay, so if he's come into this week, okay, so let's see here then. Who's he tied with? Urshlow has 9. $11 touchdowns. Okay, so are they saying rushing touchdowns? Okay, so they must be taking in consideration Dustin Crumb's 11-yard or 11 rushing touchdowns. Greg Bell has 749 rushing yards, and we still have what, 4 more games? Receiving. Let's go to Hamilton. Smith should be able to hit 1,000. Tim White should be able to hit 1,000 because he only needs just under 200. Same with DeAndre Smith. It's only if we can get these guys going, then we will be good. So, buckle. Arbuckle's only 176 yards ahead of Bo, which he will pass them to, hopefully. What did Arbuckle have last? Yes. Review, not preview. In that. Then I will go to this exercise. Nick Arbuckle had 281 yards last. So we will leave things there. Do appreciate everyone for stopping by, checking out today's preview. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on a notification bell so that you'll be notified once other content on the channel. This is Rick from Central, and have yourself a great rest of your